Good morning, student. Today we are going to discuss chapter 33 from the world of Hindi writing in GK. So here you can see we write some Hindi writers' names: Bhartendu Harishchandra, Munshi Premchand, Surikant Tripathi Nirala, Rahul Sakrityanand, Mahadev Verma, Jaishankar Prasad, Sumitra Nandan Pant. So here we explain the name of following writers one by one. For examples, Bhartendu Harishchandra is known as the father of modern Hindi literature and Hindi theatres. Bhartendu Harishchandra is known as the father of modern Hindi literature and Hindi theatres. He is considered one of the greatest Hindi writers of modern age. He used to write under the pen name Rasa. Bhartendu Harishchandra used to write under the pen name Nasa. This is clear. Bhartendu Harishchandra is the father of modern Hindi literature and Hindi theatre, and also he used to write under the pen name Rasa. This is clear. So if any questions in front of you, you can see on your exam like that: who is the father of modern Hindi literature and Hindi theatre? So your answer is Bhartendu Harishchandra. This is clear. Now, so this is some information about Bhartendu Harishchandra. Next is Munshi Premchand. Munshi Premchand. Munshi Premchandra was a famous writer of Hindi literature. Munshi Premchandra was a famous writer of Hindi literature. He is regarded as one of the foremost Hindi writers of the early 20th century. He has been referred to the Upanyas Samrat of Emperor of novels by Hindi writers. So a question arises here: who is the Emperor of Upanyas Samrat? Emperor of novels, or you can say Upanyas Samrat. Who is the Emperor of novels? So your answer is Munshi Premchand. Munshi Premchandra is the Upanyas Samrat, or you can say Munshi Premchandra is the Emperor of novels. This is clear. Now our next writer is Surikant Tripathi Nirala. Our next writer is Surikant Tripathi Nirala. So some information about Surikant Tripathi Nirala is that he was Surikant Tripathi Nirala was one of the most famous figures of modern Hindi literature. He was a poet, novelist, essayist, and story writer. Surikant Tripathi Nirala, his thinking was influenced by the Ramakrishna Paramhans and Swami Vivekananda. Understood? Surikant Tripathi Nirala thinking was influenced by Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans and Swami Vivekananda, while Michael's Madhusudan Dutt and Rabindranath Tagore influenced his writing. Ram Ki Shakti Puja and Parimal, okay, are his famous works. Ram Ki Shakti Puja and Parimal are his famous works. Surikant Tripathi Nirala's work is Ram Ki Shakti and Parimals. Our next writer is, who is our next writer? Rahul Sakrityanand. Rahul Sankirtanan is our most next writers. Rahul Sankirtanan is called the father of Hindi travel literature. Who is the father of Hindi travel literature? So your answer is Rahul Sankirtanan is the father of Hindi travel literature. This is clear. He was one of the most widely traveled scholars of India, spending about 45 years of his life on travels away from his home. He is referred to as the Pandit, great scholar, for the scholarship. One of his most famous book is Hindi Volga se Ganga. Who wrote Volga se Ganga? So your answer is Rahul Sankirtanan wrote Volga se Ganga. Rahul Sankirtanan is called the father of Hindi travel literature. He was one of the most widely traveled scholars of India, spending about 45 years of his life on travels away from his home. He is referred to as the Mahapandit. You can say great scholar for his scholarship. One of his most famous book is in Hindi Volga se Ganga. He wrote a book in Hindi Volga se Ganga. This is a very famous book of Rahul Sankirtanan. Our next writer is Mahadevi Verma. Our next writer is Mahadevi Verma. So some information about Mahadevi Verma is that Mahadevi Verma is the best known Hindi poet. She was a freedom fighter, women's activist, educationist. She is widely regarded as the modern Mira. Who is modern Mira? Your answer is Mahadevi Verma is the modern Mira. Mahadevi Verma is the best known Hindi poetess. She was the freedom fighter, women's activist and educationalist. Mahadevi Verma is widely regarded as the modern Mira. Okay? So, who is modern Mira? Your answer is Mahadevi Verma is the modern Mira. This is clear. Now, our next writer is Jaishankar Prasad. Our next writer is Jaishankar Prasad. So, some important information about Jaishankar Prasad is that Jaishankar Prasad was one of the most popular figures in modern Hindi literature. Jaishankar Prasad was one of the most popular figures in modern Hindi literature. He was one of the greatest poets and dramatists of Hindi literature. His Kamaini is considered in Hindi poetry. Who wrote the Kamaini? Your answer is Jaishankar Prasad wrote the Kamaini. Okay. So Jaishankar Prasad was one of the greatest poets and dramatists of Hindi literature. His Kamaini, whose Kamaini? Jaishankar Prasad Kamaini is considered in Hindi poetry. His most famous drama includes Skandgupt, Chandragupt and Dhruswami. Jaishankar Prasad dramas includes Skandgupt, Chandragupt and Dhruswami. So one question arises here that who wrote Skandgupt? Your answer is Jaishankar Prasad. Who wrote Chandragupt? Your answer is Jaishankar Prasad. Author of Dhruswami? Again your answer is Jaishankar Prasad. So this is information about Jaishankar Prasad. This is clear. Now our next writer is Sumitra Nandan Pant. Our next writer is Sumitra Nandan Pant. Sumitra Nandan Pant was a very famous Hindi poet. He mostly wrote in Sanskrit. Hindi published 28 works, including poetry, verse, play, and essays. Love for nature's beauty is quite evident in his books. Okay, so student, I hope all of you understood some world Hindi writer whose name is Bhartendu Harishchandra, Munshi Premchand, Surikant Tripathi Nirala, Rahul Sakrityanand, Mahadev Verma, Jaishankar Prasad, and Sumitra Nandan Pant. Bhartendu Harishchandra is known as the father of modern Hindi literature and Hindi theatres. Okay, and Munshi Premchand is known as Emperor of Novels, or you can say Upanyas Samrat. Emperor of Novels or Upanyas Samrat is written by Munshi Premchand. And some famous work of Surikant Tripathi Nirala is Ram Ki Shakti, Puja, and Parimal. Surikant, some famous books or you can say some famous works by Surikant Tripathi Nirala is Ram Ki Shakti, Puja, and Parimal. And if you say about something Rahul Sakrityanand, so Rahul Sakrityanand is also called the father of Hindi traveler literatures. And Mahadev Verma is known as modern Meera. Kamani is written by Jaishankar Prasad. Skandagupta, Chandragupta, and the Dhrusamni is also written by Jaishankar Prasad. Now we are going to discuss next chapters of in your book. Our next chapter is, you can see, certification mark. Okay, chapter number 31. In these chapters we learn about some certification marks. In India has comprehensive systems of product certification governed by the law made by the parliament time to time. Some certification marks are mandatory for products to be manufactured or to be placed in Indian market, while some hold an advisory status. So let us learn about some such certification marks. So first certification marks is egg marks. So first certification marks is egg marks. You can see here. First certification marks is egg marks. In egg marks, you can see here. Egg marks is a certification marks employed on agricultural product in India. These marks assure that the product conforms to a set of standard approved by the Directorate of Marketing and Inspections. This is clear. Where use egg marks? Egg mark is a certification marks employed on agricultural products in India. This marks used in agricultural products. Okay, and the next egg marks is eco marks. Okay, so eco marks is used by the Bureau of India Standards as a certification marks for the product such as food, medicine, chemicals, electronic goods, papers, oil, etc., which are ecologically shape, conforming to the standards prescribed by BIS. What is the full form of BIS? You can see BIS is Bureau of Indian Standards. BIS, full form of BIS is Bureau of Indian Standards. So this is clear about UCO marks. Now the next certification marks is FPO marks. FPO marks. The next certification marks is FPO marks. Okay. So the FPO marks is certification marks mandatory on the processed fruit product such as fruit jam, fruit beverage, squash, pickles, etc. These marks ensure that the product is fit for consumption. The FPO marks is certified the food product marks. It means that the product is fit for consumption. This is clear. Now the next certification marks is, you can see here on your screen, the next certification marks is India Organic Certification Marks. India Organic Certification Marks. These certification marks certifies that the organic food products is grown through organic farming without the use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides or induced hormones. Clear? India Organic Certification Marks. This certification marks certifies that the organic food product is grown through organic farming without the use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides or induced hormones. Our next certification marks is vegetarian and non-vegetarian marks. Vegetarian and non-vegetarian marks. Okay. Packaged vegetarian and non-vegetarian marks. Packaged food products sold in India are required to be labeled with mandatory marks in order to distinguish between vegetarian and non-vegetarians. Here you can see the red marks for non-vegetarian and green marks for vegetarians. This is clear. Now our next certification marks is non-polluting vehicles marks. Non-polluting vehicle marks. This marks is mandatory certification marks required on all new motor vehicles sold in India. The marks certify that the motor vehicle conform to relevant version of Bharat stage emission standards. So this is the information about non-polluting vehicle marks. This marks is a mandatory certification marks required on all new motor vehicles sold in India. The mark certified that the motor vehicles conforms to the relevant version of Bharat stage emission standards. Next certification marks, this is last certification marks of India, BIS hallmark. BIS, next certification marks of India, this is a BIS hallmark. You can see here BIS hallmarks. The BIS hallmarks is the hallmarking system for gold as well as silver jewelry. It certifies that the piece of jewelry conforms to a set of standard by Bureau of Indian Standard. I repeat this BIS hallmarks. The BIS hallmarks is a hallmarking system for gold as well as silver jewelry. It satisfies that the piece of jewelry conforms to a set of standards by Bureau of Indian Standards. I hope all of you know full form of BIS. BIS means Bureau of Indian Standards. So, student, in this way, in these chapters, we know some important certification marks such as egg marks. Where you use egg marks? Egg marks is a certification marks employed on agriculture product. And second certification marks is eco marks. Eco marks is issued by the Bureau of Indian Standards as certification for the product. Next is certification marks is FPO marks. The FPO marks is the certification marks mandatory on the processed fruit product. Next certification marks is India Organic certification marks. This certification marks certifies that the organic food product. Next is vegetarian and non-vegetarian marks. Packaged food products sold in India are required to be labeled with the mandatory mark in order to distinguish between the vegetarian and the non-vegetarian. Okay. Now, after this, non-polluting vehicle marks. Non-polluting vehicle marks. This marks is mandatory certifications marks required on all new motor vehicles sold in India. And last certification marks is BIS hallmarks. The BIS hallmarks is a hallmarking system for gold as well as silver jewelry. It certifies that the piece of jewelry conforms to a set of standards by Bureau of Indian Standards. This is clear. Now, we are going to discuss next chapters. Next chapters you can see on your screen. Indian English, chapter 32. Clear? Indian English. Now, chapter Indian English. Some information about the Indian English. Indian English is a language which is spoken and used in the Indian subcontinent with lots of variations. Such variations have some up due to the different dialects spoken in India. One can easily identify a person by the dialects she uses. These dialects are influenced by the different languages that people from different sections of the country also speak side by side with English. So read the descriptions given below and identify the different dialects of English. So first you can see this name originally comes from the Bengali word for gentleman. It is a dialect of English that first developed as the occupational working dialect amongst clerks in the Bengali speaking areas of pre-partition India. The name of English is, what is the name of English? Babu English. This type's English is known as Babu English. The second you can see, it is also known as the wearer English or kitchen English. It is a dialect of English that first developed as an occupational dialect in the years of the Madras Presidency, but it has developed over time and is now associated mainly with social class rather than the occupation. It is still spoken in major metropolitan cities. So such types English is called butter English. This types English is spoken in the major metropolitan cities, and the butter English is also known as the wearer English or kitchen English. This is clear. And butter English is a dialect of English that first developed as the occupational dialect in the years of Madras Presidency. But this type English it has developed over times and is now associated mainly with the social class rather than occupations. Okay, so such types English or you can say butter English is still spoken in major metropolitan cities. Now the next is, you can see here, description number 3. The dialect of English is a combination of the word Hindi and English. It is a hybrid of English, South Asian languages. It is a variety of these languages which are freely interchanged within the sentence or between sentences. While its name is based on the Hindi languages, but it does not refer exclusively to Hindi. However, it is used in India with English words, blending with Punjabi and Hindi. I read again this description. The dialect of English is combination of the word Hindi and English. It is a hybrid of English and South Asian languages. It is a variety of these languages which are freely interchanged within a sentence or between sentences, while its name is based on the Hindi language, but it does not refer exclusively to Hindi. However, it is used in India with English word blending with Punjabi and Hindi. So, name of such type English is English. The name of English is English. English of English is a combination of Hindi and English. So, it is called English. English is a hybrid of English and South Asian languages. English is a variety of these languages which are freely interchanged within a sentence or between sentences, while its name is based on the Hindi languages, but it does not refer exclusively to Hindi. However, it is means English is used in India with English word blending with Punjabi and Hindi. So I hope all of understood English. Now the next description is description box 4. You can see here. It is also known as so next description is description number 4. You can see here, this is description number 4. It is also known as Eastern Indian English. Influence of West Bengal and neighboring countries Bangladesh can be easily seen over its main subdivisions are Kolkata English as well as Dhaka English. So name of such types English is Bengali English. Bengali English is also known as Kolkata English and Dhaka English. Bengali English is also known as the Eastern Indian English. Influence of West Bengal and neighboring country Bangladesh can be easily seen over it. Bengali English main subdivisions are Kolkata English as well as Dhaka English. And then our next descriptions is description number 5. You can see here in description number 5, it refers collectively to non-localized, non-working class and more recent varieties of Indian English popular in India and its surrounding regions. It is a youthful variety of English which began in the 2000s. What is the name of such English? Cultivated Indian English. Cultivated Indian English is referred collectively to non-localized, non-working class and more recent variety of Indian English popular in India and its surrounding regions. It is a youthful variety of English which began in the 2000s. So this is clear. So here we discuss some important Indian English such as cultivated Indian English, Babu English, Butter English, Bengali English, Hinglish. So Hinglish is used in Punjabi and Hindi. You can say the dialect of English is combination of the word Hindi and English is called Hinglish. This is clear. It is hybrid. English is hybrid of in English and South Asian language. It is a variety of these languages which are freely interchanged within the sentence or between sentences, while its name is based on the Hindi language, but it does not refer to exclusively to Hindi. However, it is used in India with English words, blending with Punjabi and Hindi. So this is clear, student. I hope all of understood and this Indian English and the certification marks and from the word of Hindi writing. From the word of Hindi writings, we discuss some Hindi writers like Bhartendu Harishchandra, Munshi Premchand, Surkant Tripathi Nirala, Rahul Sakyanand, Mahadevi Verma, Jaishankar Prasad, and Sumitranand Pant. And in certification marks, we discuss egg marks, eco marks, FPO marks, Indian organic certification marks, vegetarian and non-vegetarian marks, non-polluting vehicle marks, BIS hallmarks, and Indian English. We discuss cultivated Indian English, Babu English, Butter English, English, Bengali English. So, student, I hope all of understood this part of your GK, chapter 30, 31 and 32. So, this is enough for today. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.